2. Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. I got to tell you, I got the purple rope lights out here, and it is Festivus in the studio. No one more Festivus-oriented than this guy. Dennis Koulatsos will be here on Thursday from 3 until 5 with the Dennis Koulatsos Show. He joins us now. We get together every Monday, and we chat about the week and about how things are going and where things are. Then the one thing about over the weekend that was so joyful was we couldn't lose, right? Like literally just sitting around. I got nervous, man. I got nervous for Jim Schwartz. I got nervous for, Mike Zimmer and for my friends in the Vikings organization. I was not nervous for the New England Patriots. I'm glad they went nighty-night. But, seeing Josh Allen throw the football around the way he did for the Bills, I got nervous for their whole fan base, for their future. And I just want to make sure that we're focused here this week. You know what I mean? Like, this is the week where they can't disappoint us, right? That they have to measure up to 14-2 on Saturday night.
No, I think that they will, Nestor. This team still has a lot of players and even coaches with big chips on their shoulder. Lamar Jackson still getting some disrespect, although he's the league's MVP. You're talking about Greg Roman being fired by the Bills before, and also Wink Martindale being fired by the Broncos. Last year, Coach Harbaugh, there were rumors that the seat was getting very hot. You've got Matt Judon playing for a contract, the guy from Grand Valley State, right? So Marcus Peters finally finding a home. Lots of storylines. Look, this team is locked in. They're focused. I think they blocked out all the noise. They're working very hard. I think they're chomping at the bit just to get out there and play some ball. There's no indication that they're going to slow down. It's a 3-game season for them, Nestor. Win at home 2 times, go to Miami, take care of business, come back with a 3rd Lombardi trophy since 1996. What a wonderful, wonderful story.
Yeah, and, watching Luke give out the team MVP award to Lamar, I had some WNST pride, in what we do around here, but this is what it's all about, right? I mean, we've waited 24 years for a 14-2 team where I'm flying down to Miami later in the week to put together the parties that you're going to be bringing Margot and Christos to, that all your friends from Coons Ford, everybody's going to be coming to the way we did the March and the Whiskey Joe's. We're going to have a Whiskey Joe's reunion. But all of that is predicated on ball security, finding Derrick Henry and tackling him, harassing Ryan Tannehill, getting them off the field, keeping Lamar on the field, running the clock, getting the game over at 10:30 instead of 11:15, not having to worry about our dear friend Sam Cook, who's going to join us on Tuesday at a Greenmount Station. We're going to have a great chat with him about being a veteran and what it all means all these years later, because for every loss in Indianapolis, for every Lee Evans and Billy Cundiff situation, Sam Cook was involved, was there for all of that. We know the highs of the high, and we know the low of the low of losing to the Indianapolis Colts in 2006. And to your point, everyone in the organization remembers last year with the Chargers, and no one has a worse taste in his mouth about that than number 8.
Yeah, no doubt about that. This is a redemption for him, right, to right the wrongs of that game. He's come a long, long way. He's learned from that, but I like the vibe of the team. And they take their cues from Coach Harbaugh. He was made fun of for being hyper-competitive during preseason games, right? But these guys are just so competitive. It doesn't matter what the circumstance is. They want to show up. They want to compete at the highest level. And for me as a fan, Nestor, I like the fact it's the Tennessee Titans. I like the fact we're going to get a chance to go against a Dean Pease coach defense. I like the fact it's a fresh team that we haven't played all year. I like the fact this is the first time they'll see Lamar Jackson. You can't tell me that Marcus Mariota could come anywhere near replicating what Lamar Jackson can do on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, we're going to find out on Saturday night, and, for Dean Pease to be coming back and being a part of this, and watching the Vrabel Belichick thing on Saturday night. I mean, I'm a big fan of Vrabel. He's a leader of men, as my friend Teron Davenport told me earlier in the week. And for them to go to New England and slay the Giant, it says to me they're not going to be intimidated. Now, not being intimidated and being able to catch Lamar and not knowing about the speed and the problem that this is going to present. We talk so much about Houston and Buffalo and the Ravens not having to scout them in the same way because they already saw them. This is a new opponent, and that's always advantage Lamar to me.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, they just cannot. Look, the players have said it have gone up against them that what you see on film doesn't do it justice when you see him live on the field. He's just very hard to deal with, very hard to catch, very elusive, very quick, much more than what the film tells you. And again, the other teams don't have a person or player that can give the defense the same kind of a look. So I do think it's a big advantage for the Ravens. I think the home team will be very, very loud. But to your point, this is a professional football team, and the Titans are very well coached. I like what Vrabel has done with this team. They've got a good offensive line. They can run the ball better than they can pass the ball, for sure. And Derrick Henry, I want to see Derrick Henry. He's a very big back. And
did you like him coming out of the draft? I mean, I just remember.
I really did, yeah.
I've told the
like
stories.
running backs.
That year that he ran the way he did was the year my wife was battling cancer the second time, which was in the fall of 15. And I just remembered sitting in the hospital, just looking up on the TV on Saturday. We're passing time every day, and I watched all the Alabama games because they were on at 3:30 every Saturday on CBS. Mm-hmm. And just watching, I had rarely seen a guy that collegiate guys didn't want to tackle in the third quarter. It looked like the Patriots didn't want to tackle him. Yeah,
they pretty much had enough of seeing him. And with all great backs, they have a tendency to get stronger as the game goes on. They wear down the defense. They see the defensive players lose their will, their grit to tackle. I don't think that's going to be the case with the Ravens. I see them stacking the box, if you will. I think now with Brandon Williams and Michael Pierce and Domata Peko and what they have to offer, they'll fill in those gaps. The Ravens had a very bad game against Nick Chubb in Game 4, went up to Cleveland with some healthy defensive linemen and limited Nick Chubb to 45 yards. I'm not saying that that's what they'll do to Derrick Henry, but I don't think Derrick's going to have a big game. And key to the Ravens, too, they always seem to get off to a very fast start. They lead the league in touchdowns in the first quarter. And if they jump all over the Titans, I think all of us can agree that we like our chances with Ryan Tannehill passing the ball, trying to bring the Titans back.
He is Dennis Koulatsos. He will be here on Thursday from 3 until 5. It is Dennis Koulatsos' show. He and Pete are doing it. I'll be joining them as well as from Florida this week as well. I'll be down scouting locations on the scene, trying to bring the biggest party we can possibly bring if Lamar Jackson and really a homecoming for him, right? Boynton Beach kid, all that going on. The storylines here around the league. Anything you want to say about these other teams? Josh Allen throwing the ball around like Keystone Cops. Houston sort of surviving. I thought the Vikings were very, very impressive in what they did to New Orleans. I mean, all afternoon. And then I guess you have the Philadelphia Eagles who, when your quarterback gets hit in the head, as he was, I don't know what to say about that, but Josh McCown, I think every old guy like us was rooting for Josh McCown to some degree on Sunday.
Yeah, we certainly were, and I'm glad you brought up the hit to Carson Wentz. I thought it should have been flagged. The NFL's got to do a better job, the officials, of protecting the players, right? This is, if you're going to make an error, make it an error on the side of caution. They should have protected them better, and I thought that Jadeveon Clowney should have been tossed, but that aside, we saw 2 overtime games, right? Houston and Buffalo, and also Minnesota and New Orleans, and also 2 competitive games in Tennessee, New England, Seattle, and Philadelphia. I think it's great for the NFL. The ratings should be up, great for the brand. And now we have 4 wonderful games, the 8 best teams in the NFL in a tournament that truly anybody can win. They all think they can win, and they should. But what a wonderful weekend this shapes up to be, Nestor.
Tournament that we should win, right? I mean, that's what Vegas would say, right?
We're favored. We should win, right? But look, Minnesota goes to San Francisco. Zimmer did a great job bringing pressure up the middle to make Drew Brees uncomfortable. Want to see what that looks like. Seattle at Green Bay. I like the Packers, Darius Smith and Darnell Savage and Amos at safety, some Baltimore guys, and Houston, Kansas City, right? You can't count out Houston with J.J. Watt being back, giving that defense an emotional lift. I think the home teams are going to win. I think that's the way to bet if you're a betting person. But as we've seen, anything can happen. I just don't want to be like those fans at other stadiums, Nestor. I don't want this thing to go down to the wire. I don't want to see overtime. I want us to see win by 10, 14, 20 points.
I'm going to be in Florida Thursday and Friday. I got all of our hotels I'm visiting. I'm visiting a whole bunch of locations for big events. But a guy says, I got a big place. It's 500 people. I'm like, okay, that may be how many I have on the buses. We took almost 300 down in New Orleans last time. The demand that we're getting for people wanting to go to South Florida is incredible. And so, I'm going to be down there next couple days doing all of that. And I got the matchup. So, everything you just did, I did. I'm like, all right, so what's my day look like? I'm getting back late Friday night from Florida, wake up Saturday. I'm going to get this done, get that done in the game. I have a Baltimore Positive morning with Don Moeller on Saturday over at Catonsville. And we're going to get ready. And I'm going to be, packing to go to the game and getting ready and doing my thing. And so the Vikings are going to be playing the 49ers and the sun's going to be setting. Then we're going to go to the game. And I'm thinking to myself, well, what about Houston and Kansas City and Seattle and Green Bay? And I'm thinking to myself, if we don't win on Saturday night, I will be nauseous. You know what I mean? I remember how it made me feel in 2006 when I got the purple lights out. Like, I can't even focus on Russell Wilson in the snow in Green Bay Sunday night. They're just a part of this that, the other games don't even matter when we're playing, right? There's only one thing that matters, and that's just the snap, making sure we don't lose the ball, making sure these crazy Butterfinger interceptions, like what happened to Brady at the end of the game the other night, making sure bad fate, bad juju doesn't strike the Ravens on Saturday night. That's all.
Well, Nestor, for me as a fan, I think the only thing worse than a home divisional loss in the NFL playoffs is a conference championship loss at home. I'm still sick when I think about the loss to the Colts of 5 field goals to 2. It was a field goal fest. I think about from McNair's pick in the end zone who was targeting Todd Heap. I remember that we stopped running Jamal Lewis.
I took that loss harder than the missing the kick in New England to some degree. At that point in my life, it just, now that we've won again and we've had more hardship and just like everybody else in life, right? We've lived longer, so we've had more awful things happen and more wonderful things happen, right?
I think the New England loss with the Cundiff and the Evans drop, that was the worst away loss, and the worst home loss was that game against those Colts. I remember a couple of the players after the game in the middle of the field, they were making a shovel motion. They were digging, like they just dug our grave, and that image still haunts me to this day, Nestor.
Well,
and I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see Vrabel and Pease and Henry celebrating on our field Saturday night.
Marshall Yanda and Sam Cook, right, would have some thoughts about the veteran people. We have Sam coming out this week, and for anybody that's been around longer than even Harbaugh's been around, right, remembering that loss and remembering how difficult that was. So this is that challenge, and I think the Ravens are up for this. Isn't Peyton Manning in his prime coming to Baltimore, right? Literally.
No, it's not. It's an upstart team. It's a team that look. I'm still not a big Ryan Tannehill fan. I'm not a believer. I'm still thinking that fan in Miami Dolphins uniform just doing awful things and being inaccurate. And look, if we take away the run, and that's always been job one, no matter who the running back is for the opposition, good things generally tend to happen. And they're not going to beat this Baltimore team by scoring 14 points or 21 points. That's not going to happen. They have to show up. I know, we all know what their game plan is, keep Lamar on the bench, but that's easier said than done. And this Ravens team has a penchant for scoring early and often and getting big leads and then unleashing that defense. And look, this is going to be wonderful for this offense going up against the Dean Pease coach defense.
I know who we're not going to see in a potential AFC championship game. When the tickets came out a couple weeks ago, when we're all excited, we're thinking, well, yeah, maybe Tom Brady. And then they lose to the Dolphins and things change, and now things have really changed. They're golfing and, all that drama. I mean, Marvin Lewis is with Dan Snyder, and then he's with Jerry Jones and McCarthy, and the Browns are screwing around with Greg Roman, and Lamar Jackson's getting questions about it. Everything that could happen, I would expect that next Sunday at 3 o'clock that Terrell Suggs walks into the building, right, again, and literally, and Harbaugh and Andy Reid, that storyline for next week, and Mahomes and Lamar not having beaten Kansas City and having lost twice. I mean, this really does set up, for the NFL to be Sort of an incredible thing with a Ravens-Chiefs championship game that could be the potential for next week.
That's going to be an awfully hot ticket. You're on social media. I'm on social media. So is Lamar Jackson. When somebody said Lamar Jackson's 0-2 against Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson himself hit that like button. He understands that he's 0-2 against Kansas City. You talk about a chip on the shoulder. This story is going to be written. We don't know the ending. We'd like to know what the
Hey, by the way, my Kansas City friends, Brian McCray and some others, they've been sending me texts saying, hey, we'll see you in Baltimore next week. I'm like, hey, man, I hate to quote Bill Belichick, but you better do your job.
Look, we're good with that. You know what? We hope it happens. There's no other team, like you and I have always said, like Ric Flair says, to be the man, you got to beat the man. The gauntlet should be Tennessee. It should be Houston and Kansas City. And, I hope it's the 49ers. I would love a Baltimore-San Francisco Super Bowl 2012 rematch with different players this time around. I can't wait.
Man,
Can you imagine? Can you picture it? I mean, how does that ticket going to be, Nestor? That AFC championship game ticket.
I am excited about it. All right. Listen, calm down. You sell cars. Thursday we meet again. Do a little Dennis Koulatsos show Thursday, 3 to 5 right here at WNST. And then we'll reconvene again. Hopefully the next time, we convene here, we're in the AFC Championship game. Dennis, always great to have you aboard, my friend.
You got to be well. Thank you.
There he goes, Dennis Koulatsos. Find him out. Formerly the SSV on WNST. Dennis Koulatsos and D. Koulatsos show out on Twitter as well as on Thursdays from 3 until 5 and heard Sunday mornings as well here at WNST. Got to collect myself. The purple lava lamp is out. I got purple lights everywhere. I have brought the Art Modell photo from the back to the forefront here. It is glimmering, and Art is smiling at me in purple. Got Coach Billick behind me with the Lombardi Trophy. Got my all-in Harbaugh sign in the studio. Feeling the power of Festivus. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.